ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight. This segment of the news is brought to you by BTC, powered by Lime.
You're watching The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Shashina Rule. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news, controversy unfolding in the Bahamas Public Service Union. While on Grand Bahama this past weekend, BPSU President John Pinder told reporters that an agreement was reached concerning a career path for social workers in the country. But social workers here on Grand Bahama say there is no agreement because they do not approve of the proposed document. Sabrina Brown reports.
Mr. Pinder must know the document is all about us. In social services, it's about our profession.
Social worker and shop steward with the BPSU, Julita Ingram, says workers at the Department of Social Services are disappointed that Union President John Pinder went to the media with a document that they do not support. She says the workers received a copy of the career path only hours before Pinder's press conference on Saturday, and they did not have the opportunity to give their input. After reviewing the document, the union representative believes it is not beneficial to the majority of the workers.
There's far too many layers between trainee welfare officers and senior welfare officers. We are saying that the Social Work 3 should be omitted. We are saying that the 3 positions are inadequate and will further frustrate the hardworking social workers who are at the bottom of the spectrum. To us, we believe it was created to ensure that individuals remain where they are for a longer period of time. The career path gives no room for advancement or upward mobility for workers who have earned their master's degree and are currently employed at social services. And to me, this is unfair.
Ingram says the proposed career path impedes the advancement of the social work profession, and she's questioning how the current document came about.
Which international body is the current proposed career path compared to? Who comprised the formulation of the committee? Did it include workers at every level?
According to Ingram, the proposed career path drafted in 2002 was more in line with international standards.
That proposed career path was viewed by existing social workers with their doctorate degree, like persons like Dr. Carolyn Rule and Dr. Darlene Cargill Rule. They interviewed that. We wanted to know what happened to that particular document, because to me, when we had to look at that document more suit the purpose of social services or social workers forward in the future.
Ingram says the workers are grateful to the minister for trying to implement a professional career path, which is long overdue. But she's appealing to the minister to take a closer look at the document before making a final decision. Sabrina Brown, ZNS Network News.
The minister responsible for social services was on Grand Bahama last night to address a special town meeting. Her mission to raise awareness of the need to protect the children of this country. Natalie Martinborough has the story.
The Minister for Social Services and Community Development, the Honourable Melanie Griffin, says the care and the protection of children is a real concern. In 2011, there were 107 cases of child abuse, neglect and abandonment on Grand Bahama. In 2012, there were 140 cases. Minister Griffin says cases of abuse are often underreported, and these numbers could be just a hint of the scope of what is actually taking place.
We know that Grand Bahama has been sorely impacted by the worldwide recession. The loss of employment has resulted in the separation of families, with one or perhaps even both parents traveling to another island to seek employment, leaving their children with other relatives or friends where adequate supervision may not always be provided. Additionally, the inability of parents to provide even the basic necessities for their children can sometimes cause anxiety and frustration, and may result in them taking out their anxiety and frustration on their children, which could very well lead to abuse.
She says despite the best efforts of parents, there are perpetrators who prey on children. She warns that in the hustle and bustle of trying to provide for their children, parents must pay attention to what their children are doing. She notes that modern technology has created a new challenge.
On an increasing basis, we are seeing photos, videos, and comments of minors appearing on the internet in some very compromising positions. Or children lured to meetings with sexual predators through chat rooms on the internet. People entering into chat rooms that your children are on the internet, talking to them as though they are their peers, their age, making plans to meet them in the mall or to come to their home when you are not there. You know, these things, this is the changing world. This is the face of the changing world that our children have to deal with today.
She says as a result, those charged with caring for children must make adjustments in order to remain relevant. She urged parents to set ground rules that should be monitored and enforced.
We have an obligation to teach them how to protect themselves. True protection lies in creating a child who is internally resistant, whose inner strength will make him or her less vulnerable to the approaches of a child molester and the various threats that exist in our society. We must create a child who will make the right choices in the face of any temptation or coercion or bullying by schoolmates, friends, family, and strangers.
Natalie Martin-Burrows, ZNS Network News.
Police crime-fighting efforts on Grand Bahama are apparently paying off as 3 persons were hauled before the Freeport Magistrates Court this morning. Joan Davis-Roll has the details.
Police officials believe that they have foiled yet another crime ring here on Grand Bahama, this time in the Lakaya area. The male trio charged Tuesday in connection with this latest incident are Javado Davis, age 20, Shaquan Ewing Burrows, 18, along with a male juvenile, all residents of Hudson Estates, Freeport. The men are charged with allegedly stealing from homes in the Churchill Road area. The items reportedly stolen range from a Rolex watch, a laptop, to jewelry and electronic games. Second in command of the Eastern District Assistant Superintendent of Police, Loretta Mackey.
One of the main concerns for officers here in the Eastern Division and of course in the Grand Bahama District is the house breaking and stealing that we've been seeing. It's been going on for a number of years. But in recent time, we have had some successes, and today we want to showcase what we would have done with our hard-working officers here in the Eastern Division. Over the years, you know, we have cracked house-breaking rings. We have had a number last year throughout the year, not only in the Eastern Division, but also in Central. But because of where the persons are, you know, more populated and a lot of persons are out of home, these are persons who are just taking the opportunity to prey on others who are not at home at the time. Now, even you might find that there's a decrease during the summer or Easter break when the children are out of school and someone is always home. But you'd find that these persons are taking the opportunity to knock on the door. If nobody answers, then they know that probably nobody's at home. Or even if the person take a little while to get to the door for whatever reason. Or if they see an alarm system, they still want to check and see if it's working.
ASP Mackey is sounding this alarm as both businesses and homes have been hit by culprits in recent times.
Those persons who are buying stolen goods, for example, this Rolex that was recovered. You know, you cannot purchase this Rolex watch that the complainant would have paid $1,800 for $100. So those persons, the police are going to deal with them too. And for a brand new laptop that costs some $1,200, maybe $600. But even if you were to buy it in Florida where you're saying that you would have gotten it on sale, you cannot get this laptop for $75. And to receive this, that is what we call it, receiving, it's an offense. And they will be charged and put before the courts.
The senior police officer is advising members of the public to become more proactive.
We want to say to those persons who out there, you know, you may not be able to afford an alarm system. We want them to call our urban renewal officers who are on the grounds in the island to form crime watch group. In the event they're not at home or they don't have an alarm system, then their neighbors can be their eyes and ears for those persons who are engaged in criminal activity.
Joan Davis-Roll, ZNS Network News.
Now, the case against the trio was adjourned to August of this year. In other news, a disturbing discovery near the North Star Resort today. Officers with the Fisheries Department say it once again points to the need for increased penalties for those who violate the fisheries laws. Megan Shepard has the story.
17 bags of rotting crawfish were discovered near a canal in Fortune Bay. Assistant Fisheries Superintendent Clement Campbell says he received a tip and went to the area around noon on Tuesday, where he found hundreds of crawfish scattered about the area.
It seems as if it's been here for about a week or less, but the information that I received was pretty accurate, and based on the intelligence that's out there, we were waiting to see who's going to come and get it, but nobody showed up. And they does this different places, in the Dover Sound area, in the Grand Bahama Highway area, the Queens Cove area, from different parts of the old island. They just come and drop it off and wait for it to be picked up. But this area here, because of the moving of persons, they weren't able to come and retrieve it. So nobody never got caught. I was waiting for them though.
While officials did not catch the culprits, Campbell says they are following strong leads. He says based on observations at the scene, at least 85% of the crawfish are undersized.
Buzzard is taken over. It's about 17 bags. So 17 bags would be approximately over 400 pounds of crawfish. So it is all going to waste. I ask the public, if they see this kind of activity going on, please call the department or call me at 646-0611 or call the police at 911. Even quicker.
While he could not speak specifically to new equipment, Campbell says this summer the Department of Fisheries will receive some upgrades to help deter such criminal activity on the seas. Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
Stay with us. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, continues right after this.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Dolly Madison, Freeport's original home center.
Bringing news that matters to you. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. An introspective look at television and radio broadcasting, the highs and the lows. That was the topic at the Rotary Club of Lucaya's weekly luncheon meeting. The guest speaker, one of our own, shared some of the challenges in the field.
I work for the Bahamian people. And I always say to our reporters and cameramen, you work for the Bahamian people.
The role of the media is no easy task. With inadequate funding and numerous other challenges, the sports anchor and senior news editor of ZNS Northern Service admits that his department does the best with what it has. He adds that the media on Grand Bahama should be commended for the strides it has made and the ability to keep this island up to date with the latest information.
We are the eyes and the ears of this little country of ours called the Bahamas. But we don't get the respect that we require and desire. And the day that we don't do our job, what you going to do when you go out there in the morning on the mall and you can't get a Freeport news? And you can't read what happened overnight? Or you can't get a Guardian? Or you don't hear Sabrina Brown at 7 o'clock in the morning? You're going to sit there and wonder, well, what in the world happened in my little country today? That's the significance of what we do.
He told Rotarians that with competing stations, ZNS is often criticized. However, he says ZNS can do what others cannot, from live television news to keeping Bahamians up to date in the midst of a storm.
It's a love-hate relationship because you love us during the hurricane season. And come June, you're going to love us to death. And oh, thank God for ZNS. That's all you're going to hear. Because the other radio stations will pack up, shut down, and go to their families. We have to secure our families and go out there and keep you abreast as what's going on.
While Iborn has had many highs in the corporation, from hosting the Olympics to Carifta and recently the Chris Brown Invitational, he shared with Rotarians one of the lows in the corporation's history.
That's been under the restructuring of our company, and we saw 80 of our fellow employees have to go home. The transition from the public to a public broadcasting service was the aim. And then the government changed in 2012, and that in turn brought some new direction, new board of directors, and also a new chairman in Dr. William Thompson.
He summed up by commending his team for continuing to go over and beyond.
I work with these young people. It is because of their commitment, because of their dedication, and it's because of the professional attributes that we possess, and because we have a system in place to make sure that when you turn on that television, you are getting the best possible product that we can present to you on a nightly basis.
Atlantic Medical Insurance is spreading the message of healthy living by getting the wider community active. This Saturday, April 27th, the company will host its 12th annual Fun Run Walk for various age groups. Company representative Crystal Martin says every year the run is a grand event filled with prizes and surprises, but this year the aim is to spread awareness.
This year, we want to focus more on the catastrophic diseases such as cancer and diabetes. People don't understand the effects of healthy living, and that's integrating exercise into that. People with high blood pressure, that lowers high blood pressure. It prevents and can reduce colon cancer, heart disease, hypertension. The benefits that come with a healthier lifestyle is so incredible. That's why this year we want to promote that.
Well, Martin says kids are also welcomed on the walk, and she hopes to spread the message of healthy living as early as possible.
We're trying to integrate that, especially into the school children, having parents look at the healthy snacks that they give to the children so they can be aware of that at a young age and grow into that lifestyle for healthy living.
Well, a local nonprofit organization is calling on the public once again to support a worthy cause. The Red Rose Ball Committee is preparing to hold its all-white affair this coming Saturday evening at the Grand Bahama Yacht Club. The event is one of the committee's annual fundraisers to assist with the construction of a health education resource center. The facility will be an HIV/AIDS education center for young people. Chairman Odette Knowles says it's going to be exciting.
We're going to have our guest, who is going to be Mr. Craig Butler out of Nassau. He's going to be our guest here at the event, and the event is part sponsored by Polymers International. And we're just encouraging the wider community to continue to support us so we can do what we have to do so we can start to hit the ground running and get some things going as it relates to HIV and AIDS and education.
The Grand Bahama Yacht Club is partnering with the committee in this effort. Proprietor Jennifer Williams is encouraging the public to support.
The Grand Bahama Yacht Club is proud to be a sponsor with the Red Rose Ball Committee and the All White Affair. The event will not be successful unless the community steps forward and purchase tickets to help them, defray some of the cost on the building that they have started construction on. So we're happy to be a part of it. We hope that it's well supported.
Well, the all-white affair will be held on Saturday evening at 7 o'clock at the Grand Bahama Yacht Club. And that's a look at stories making news at the hour. Stay with us. Ricardo Lightbourne joins us next with sports.